The dark truth about success nobody tells you. They say success is beautiful. They say it's glamorous, fulfilling, and brings happiness. But what if I told you that's only half the story? What if I told you that success has a dark side of truth so harsh that most people quit before they ever reach it? Pause. Shift tone to conversational. Today we're diving deep into the dark truth about success nobody tells you. If you've ever struggled, felt lost, or wondered why success seems so elusive, stick with me. By the end of this video, you'll not only see the hidden side of success, but you'll also learn how to use it to your advantage. Success isn't just about hard work, it's about what you're willing to give up to get there. Every success story you admire has a hidden cost. It's easy to look at icons like Elon Musk, Oprah Winfrey, or Steve Jobs and admire their achievements. But here's what most people don't see: the sacrifices they made along the way. Musk once said, "If something is important enough, even if the odds are against you, you should still do it." That sounds inspiring, right? But let's break it down. That means working through exhaustion, choosing long-term goals over short-term pleasure, and sometimes even walking away from relationships that don't support your vision. Ask yourself, are you really willing to sacrifice comfort, entertainment, even friendships to reach your goal? Be honest. Because the truth is, success is lonely at times. It tests you. It demands everything. And only those who are willing to make those sacrifices truly achieve it. Story example, J.K. Rowling. Let's talk about J.K. Rowling. Before she became one of the most successful authors of all time, she was struggling. She was a single mother living on welfare, battling depression, and facing rejection after rejection. 12 publishers told her no before someone finally said yes. Imagine if she had given up after the third or fourth rejection. No Hogwarts, no Harry, no worldwide phenomenon. The world wouldn't even know her name. And she's not alone. Think about Michael Jordan. He was cut from his high school basketball team. But did he quit? No. He trained harder. He sacrificed his free time to practice day in and day out. His words, "I've failed over and over and over again in my life, and that is why I succeed." Relatable scenario. Maybe you're in a place right now where you feel stuck. Maybe you've got a dream, a goal, something you want so badly, but life keeps getting in the way. Your friends are going out every weekend, but you've got work to do. You see others relaxing, binge watching shows, and you're tempted to do the same. It's hard. I get it, but here's the thing. Every time you say yes to something meaningless, you're saying no to your dream. Success isn't about luck. It's about choices. So what are you choosing? To stay comfortable or to push through even when it's tough? Actionable insight. Here's what I want you to do today. Grab a pen and paper or open a notes app. Make a list of what you're willing to give up to achieve your dreams. TV time, social outings, weekend parties. Maybe it's waking up an hour earlier or cutting back on distractions. And once you write it down, commit. No excuses. No second guessing, just action. Because in the end, success isn't just about talent. It's about discipline. It's about sacrifice. And most importantly, it's about deciding right now that your dream is worth it. So, are you ready to make that decision? No. 2. The truth is, success is lonely. While you're working, others are out having fun. While you're pushing forward, some people may not understand. But let me tell you, this greatness requires isolation. Pause for emphasis. Think about it. Have you ever had a moment where you chose to work instead of going out with friends? Where you sacrificed sleep to chase a dream? Maybe you've even felt like no one really understands why you push so hard. If so, you're not alone, or rather, you're in great company. Historical example, Nikola Tesla. Nikola Tesla, the genius behind AC electricity, spent in isolation working on his inventions. His commitment to innovation cost him friendships, love, and even financial stability. But his legacy, it changed the world. His story isn't unique. It's a pattern. The people who have made the biggest impact often walk the loneliest roads. Now, let's bring this closer to home. Imagine a young entrepreneur poring over business plans while their friends are at a party, or an artist staying up until dawn, perfecting a piece of work no one has even seen yet, or a student sacrificing weekends to master a skill that no one appreciates now but one day will define their success. Sound familiar? Actionable insight. Use loneliness as fuel instead of fearing loneliness. Use it. Solitude is where growth happens. It's where the noise fades and you can finally hear yourself think. In those quiet moments, your ideas take shape, your vision gets clearer, and your discipline strengthens. Ask yourself, what if the loneliness you feel isn't a punishment, but a sign that you're on the right track? What if it's proof that you're doing something most people aren't willing to do? The late nights, the early mornings, the sacrifices, they're shaping you. Inspiring example, J.K. Rowling. Look at J.K. Rowling. Before Harry Potter became a global phenomenon, she was a struggling single mother, writing in cafes, dealing with rejection after rejection. She had every reason to give up. No one saw her work, no one believed in her dream. But she didn't stop. She embraced the solitude, kept writing, and changed the world of literature forever. Encouragement. Final takeaway, the road to success isn't lined with crowds cheering you on. It's often a quiet, lonely path. But that loneliness, it's the price of doing something extraordinary. So the next time you feel alone, remember, this is what growth feels like. This is what separates the dreamers from the doers. Keep going. Keep building. Keep believing. Because one day the world will look back and realize you were never just alone. You were ahead. Powerful call to action. So what are you going to do with your solitude? Are you going to let it discourage you? Or are you going to use it to build something legendary? The choice is yours. No. 3. Failure is the price of entry. Cut to images of failure, torn papers, lost competitions, empty bank accounts, missed opportunities, frustrated faces. Most people think failure is the opposite of success. It's not. It's the cost of entry. It's the toll you pay on the road to anything worthwhile. Every successful person you admire, every entrepreneur, athlete, artist, innovator, they've all failed. Repeatedly. Painfully. Publicly. But they kept going. And that's the only difference between those who make it and those who don't. Think about it. How many times have you wanted to quit? Maybe you started something new, excited, motivated, convinced you'd make it work. But then the setbacks came. The rejection emails, the criticism, the self-doubt. You told yourself, maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe this isn't for me. That moment, the moment you feel like giving up, is where success is made or lost. Because failure isn't the end. It's feedback. It's a lesson. It's the universe asking, how bad do you really want this? Michael Jordan, one of the greatest basketball players of all time, was cut from his high school team. Imagine that. A kid who would go on to become a 6-time NBA champion, 5-time MVP, and one of the most iconic athletes in history was told he wasn't good enough. Can you picture how devastating that must have felt? But instead of letting failure define him, he used it as fuel. He worked harder. He practiced longer. And years later, he said, I failed over and over and over again in my life. And that is why I succeed. Now, let's bring this closer to home. Maybe you're not trying to be an NBA legend. Maybe you're trying to build a business. Maybe you're chasing a dream career or learning a new skill or just trying to turn your life around. And right now, you feel stuck. Like you're failing more than you're winning. Everyday struggles. Picture this, you start a business and it flops. You invest time, energy, even your savings, and it doesn't work. You pour your heart into something creative, music, writing, art, but nobody cares. You apply for job after job and all you get are rejection emails. It's brutal, isn't it? It makes you question everything, but let me ask you this. When a toddler learns to walk and falls, do they just stop trying? Of course not. They get up, wobble, fall again, and keep going until they figure it out. Nobody looks at a baby falling and says, maybe walking just isn't for them. So why do we say that about ourselves? J.K. Rowling rejected by 12 publishers before someone took a chance on Harry Potter. Walt Disney fired from a newspaper for lacking imagination. Oprah Winfrey told she wasn't fit for television. What if they had stopped? What if they had taken failure as a sign to quit instead of a sign to improve? Imagine a world without Harry Potter, without Disney, without Oprah's influence. Now, imagine what the world is missing out on because so many people quit before their breakthrough. If you're facing failure right now, good. That means you're in the game. You're trying, you're learning. And that puts you ahead of everyone too afraid to even start. So here's what you do. Learn from it. What went wrong? What can you adjust? Shift your mindset. Stop seeing failure as a stop sign and start seeing it as a stepping stone. Keep moving. Because the only real failure is quitting. You weren't meant to live a life of what ifs and regrets. You were meant to grow, to improve. So what's next? Are you going to let failure define you, or are you going to let it refine you? The choice is yours. But remember, every champion, every success story, every breakthrough, it all started with someone who refused to quit. Keep going. Your story isn't over yet. Conclusion, call to action. So here's the truth: success isn't easy, it isn't fast, and it isn't always glamorous. But if you're willing to sacrifice, embrace loneliness, push through failure, and stay committed for the long haul, you'll get there. Pause for emphasis. Now I want you to do one thing. Drop a comment below. What's one goal you're willing to fight for, no matter the cost? Let's create a community of people who refuse to quit. And if you found this video valuable, hit that like button, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs to hear this. Because success isn't just for the lucky, it's for the relentless.